To the point, informative, entertaining, and protecting the Second Amendment. Welcome back to Elster's Rifles and Reloading. And man, oh man, do I got a treat for you guys. What you guys have been waiting for, the Psa5. It's 2020 SHOT Show, and I'm here with Chris and Derek Hicks with Leadstar, and he's got what you guys have been waiting for the longest time. And
yeah,
this is coming out in 2020, correct?
It's coming out. It is 2020. I'm not going to give a release date other than just saying 2020. It's coming. Leadstar has the ball now. It's in our court, and we're going to make this thing happen.
Now let's just quick go over the features here of this Psa5. Now this is just the 5-inch barrel version, right? You're eventually going to come out, you think, with an 8.5?
Yeah, sometime. We'll talk a little more about it later, but yeah, this barrel right here is going to be a nice little tucked in shorty.
Let's just go over some of the features from the buttstock to the front here. So starting out with the brace here. Now this is SB tactical brace. Now this isn't specifically for the SPA5. It's very similar to the PDW.
Yep,
right?
it's similar. This one was actually, it was brought out before for the MP5, and they adapted that back to the CZ. So this one will fit any MP5 receiver. And moving forward here, so on the rear sight, you just have a standard V-notch or pistol style. Yep, standard pistol notch. We got a little bit different system with this, so now we're not going to control elevation off the rear sight. So gone are the days of diopter. We've improved the sights. They can be retrofitted back to the rear sight if you really wanted it. Not sure why, but
not sure why you'd want it.
Yeah, but it can be.
Okay, so but any HK rear aperture though will easily fit on this, correct?
Yep, and this one, like I said, you got 4 notches, so the different width of the pistol notches, and it clicks detents, so you get that diopter kind of feel, you know, but you get a little bit better sight.
Very tactile stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So from wide open, just for real quick glances, to if you want to put it on the first notch, get a little more accurate shot. You can do that too.
Yep.
And they're right next to each other.
Now, the next thing, which is huge, most people probably don't realize this, is this Picatinny rail is welded on here.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's the really innovative part of this, I think.
Yeah, so now you don't have to worry about putting the claw mounts on. You got the Picatinny right there.
Up your receiver.
Gone are those days.
Put on your red dot and go.
Put on red dot and go.
I think we were kind of talking about this too in regards to having a rear aperture sight, which I know some guys like.
Yeah.
You're most likely not going to use it anyways. You're just probably going to slap a red dot. Wouldn't you agree, Chris?
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's kind of what is real fun about this is you got, a 70-year-old design that is famous for a reason, but that reason is largely internal, and that delayed roller, the roller delayed blowback system is what makes this gun as amazing as it is, the design. So you should be allowed, and you are allowed, and Derek did, take all the modern innovations and forward thinking that he's capable of doing and implement it on it. I don't want to rush you, but I actually, as much as I love the Picatinny, I think the front sight is a huge selling point, because now get on Google and find yourself an MP5 front sight post and tell me how much that costs, and find yourself an AR-15 front sight post and see how much that costs. So now you've got a standard AR-15 front sight post on the Psa5 that is adjustable by any standard AR-15 tool that's long enough to fit in there, given, right? So if you want to put a tritium front sight in there, go ahead and do it. We've already got a couple of samples from companies that Derek's working with. And that's going to just allow a little bit more accessibility to the parts and a little bit more modification. I mean,
and I mean, between the welded Picatinny rail and this front sight, no one else is doing that, right?
No. Not that we're aware of.
And you guys are still kind of in that $1,200, $1,300 price?
Well, we're not going to talk price.
I can't pry that out of you guys, though.
Yeah, no, not at all. Not at all. Because all the cost of machining is not in the system. So when we bring out a price, it's a true costing.
Yeah.
So it has to be right.
Now, you're talking not only with the Picatinny rail being innovative, the front sight being innovative, but you also have this too. Now, this is a Chevron style front sight too, right?
So this is the nice thing about having this front sight post. ain't one of the nice things. Now you can switch it out. You can put a Blitzkrieg components. So this one has a tritium with an orange chevron. You can get all orange chevron. You can get all tritium chevron. So it's actually pretty cool. Blitzkrieg did a good job of this, and now we can adapt that back in. It'll come with a standard A2 front side post, which is what most people are going to have. And if you want it, then you can put that on there. And the other nice thing about this is, with this design, it's the same height as a standard front sight post on any other gun, MP5.
But easy to adjust.
Yeah, the Psa5. Yeah, you put the front sight post tool in,
just rotate,
adjust it right up.
All right, so moving forward here.
Oh, and it'll bring it right to the center of the window.
Yeah.
So you have that, and you no longer have to paint any kind of orange on it because you just switch out the post. It's easy.
I can't wait to get my hands on this thing. So moving to the front, we got the Trilog, and this also screws off for a half by 28 threading if you want to direct thread it.
So this is another cool part. This one, take the Trilog off, and then you can butt a crush washer right up to the front sight and put your favorite muzzle device, 9mm in there.
You know, I think that's going to be preferable. I mean, in comparison to the HK SP5, there's this kind of, it's like a nut that's threaded on.
Yeah.
Right? This way you can just have the option and just be done with it. Right?
Yep. This one is going to be really, really nice.
All right, so moving on, you got the side button release and also the paddle release, which is nice.
Yes.
And is there anything else different in regards to?
Mag pull grip, and then you're going to have ambidextrous mag pull safety.
Yep.
And one other thing we didn't talk about was there's a little bit better trigger coming. And I'm going to leave it at that right now. We're working with CMC triggers, and they're going to produce a really nice MP5 triggers. Most people have shot these like, not really so good on the trigger.
So what trigger pack is in there?
This is just plain mil spec, kind of one of theirs. But it will be a CMC trigger when we're done with it. Yeah. So, and that'll be coming out in our guns. So we're working closely with CMC to bring that out.
Now, you've been the lead engineer on this from the start, right?
Yeah. So,
well, in recent history.
Yeah.
So the big story is we started this project 3 years ago as Palmetto State Armory, wanting to source parts and then make as many as we could. Leadstar is now a sister company of ours. They're based on speed shooting and precision manufacturing. So if you want to set a world record, you want to shoot steel super, super fast, you buy a Leadstar, you go do that. They also make really high-end, well-built AR-15s. So they're living next door to us in the family of companies, and the conversation kind of started where Derek said, hey, for a long time, I've wanted to do something like that. Maybe I can help. Yeah. And so as we had explored other options and those resources kind of didn't seem like the best idea, the most logical point was, why don't you let Derek take it?
Yeah, and Derek helps out a lot with the AKV too, right?
He produces parts. Leadstar produces internal parts for the AKV.
Yeah. The second part of it, second release.
The second release of that was a lot of his work. But then he took it and kind of said, look, I can do this, this, and this, all right here on my machines, and he's produced this. So I tell you all that to say that was within the last 6 to 12 months, because why we were waiting was because we wanted to do as much in-house as possible. What we were bringing 3 years ago when we brought the SHOT Show was kind of a proof of concept, but this is our parts machined by one of our one of the companies within our family of companies, and this is it. So it's not just, hey, one day this will be here. This is it. It's ready. It's coming.
So I think it's kind of important to note, as Chris had pointed out, we got 4 world championships, 2 world records. We know what we're doing in the pistol caliber carbine, just 9mm sub gun kind of market. You're gonna have the best gun. And if it's not right, we're not bringing it out.
No.
Flat out. So let's start doing the manufacturing. We're doing the assembly. So you get the advantage of having a high-end company make this gun at a good price point. So we do everything from CAD, CAM, engineering, machining, fixturing, we build our own stuff, everything, all in-house.
And all those innovative designs, especially like the welded Picatinny rail. But you guys also said that you're going to potentially have an option where this isn't welded on. If you got more of a truist that wants this true HK that doesn't have a welded on Picatinny rail, that's going to be an option? Yeah,
we'll have another model, and that model will be without Picatinny, and it'll have the A2 style SB Tactical folding brace.
And then also, this is the 5-inch barrel, then you might have the 8.5-inch barrel, correct?
Well, remember, let's get this one done first.
Okay. All right. I can't say I didn't try. You know me, I always got to try and get as much information as I can out of you guys.
You know, there's some other stuff coming to this. We'll talk about more a little bit later on. But yeah, 2020, and the price is going to be better than the competitors, and you're going to have a lot more features.
Oh yeah.
So that's all I'm going to say about it.
Okay. Now the internals in regards to the bolt is pretty much the same as the regular HK, obviously.
Yeah.
Nothing really different.
That was a great system.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, man, that's awesome, and I'm really looking forward to this, especially as your weekend warrior that can only afford an HK for what, $1,200-$1,300 ish? You thinking?
For what?
$1,200-$1,300 you guys are kind of thinking?
So let's say it this way. That would
better
be a great
than the competitors.
goal. Yeah, it will be so significantly less than the closest competitor that's doing any sort of variant of this weapon system. That there wouldn't be a reason to not buy this.
Because I mean, your SP5 is what, $2,500. A Zenith, you're probably about $2,000.
It's somewhere around there.
And this is going to be south of that.
It'll be south of it.
Yeah, awesome.
Yep.
And I think everyone's really going to be looking forward to this. In fact, I got this in my hands, and I can actually feel the weight. It feels rugged.
Yeah.
And I'm excited. I can't wait to get this. I appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks once again.
Anytime.
Can't say I didn't try to get as much information as possible.
Yeah. And again, it didn't work.
$7, right? You guys said $7.
$10?
Tree fitting?
The beatings will continue until morale improves.
All right. We'll see you guys in the next video.